Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel Case 23, where we decode the world of forensic science in a simple and clear way. If you are new here, hey, I'm glad you joined, and if you have been following along, welcome back. Today's topic is something you see every day but probably don't think twice about. It is principles of handwriting and the factors affecting it. Now, think about this for a second. Have you ever noticed how your handwriting changes slightly when you are tired, rushed, or even excited? Or how your friends' notes look completely different from yours, even though if you are using the same pen and writing the same sentence. That is because handwriting isn't just a mechanical act, it is deeply personal. It is just like a fingerprint, but written. It is shaped by your brain, your muscles, your mood, and even your environment. That is exactly what makes it more powerful in forensic investigations. So how do forensic experts figure out who wrote what, and more importantly, how do they tell if something's forged? Well, it all starts with two simple but fascinating principles of handwriting, and a bunch of factors that can affect how your handwriting turns out. So in today's video, we are going to break it all down clearly, simply, and with real life insight. So by the end, you'll understand exactly what makes your handwriting yours and how forensic scientists use it to solve real cases. So let's dive right in. Alright, here's a quick look at what we will be covering in this video. First, we will start with the basics. That is, what is handwriting analysis and why it is such a big deal in forensic science. You'll be surprised how much your pen can reveal about you. Next, we will dive into the core principles of handwriting, including the concept of natural variation and the uniqueness of every person's script. Think of it as your handwritten fingerprint. Then we will explore how these principles are used in real investigations, from detecting forgeries to verifying signatures in criminal and as well as civil cases. After that, we will look at the different things that can affect your handwriting, like your age, mood, health, and even the type of pen you use. To bring all this to life, I will walk you through a short case study where handwriting analysis played a key role in solving a real mystery. And finally, we will end it all up with a quick summary, and I'll share why handwriting is still a powerful tool in today's digital world. So first, let's start with the introduction. So, what is handwriting? Handwriting is the unique style and form of writing that comes from the movement of your hand and fingers when you use a pen or pencil. It is more than just forming letters. It is a reflection of how your brain, nerves, and muscles work together to create patterns on paper. For example, have you ever tried copying someone's handwriting, maybe their fancy signature or their neat notes, and noticed it never looks exactly like theirs? That's because handwriting also reflects your learned habits, your writing speed, and even how you hold your pen. Maybe you always slant your letters to the left, or maybe the letter G, has a big loopy tail. Even things like pressure, whether you write heavy or light, are a part of your personal handwriting fingerprint. In short, handwriting is a mix of neuromuscular coordination. It is how your brain controls hand movement. Practice and habit. It is how you are taught to write and how it evolved in your own personal expression, which is why no one else writes exactly like you. Then let's talk about the importance in forensic analysis. In forensic science, handwriting plays a very important role, especially in cases involving question documents. These are documents where someone doubts the authenticity of the writing. Think forged wills, fake signatures, threatening letters, or anonymous notes. Let us understand with an example. Imagine a ransom note is found at a crime scene. There are no fingerprints, no security footage, and no witness. But there's one clue, the handwriting. A forensic handwriting expert will then compare that note with written samples from possible suspects. They don't just look at what the person wrote, they will look at how they wrote it. Do they make sharp or round strokes? How do they dot their I letters? Is their spacing wide or tight? And guess what? Even if someone tries to disguise the handwriting, small features like pressure, stroke patterns, or the shape of certain letters still reveal clues. Because no two people, not even identical twins, write in the exactly same way. Now, handwriting can be used to authenticate documents, identify forgeries, and link someone to a piece of written evidence. In this way, handwriting becomes more than just writing. It becomes proof and often a turning point in solving real life cases. Now, here's a quote I found on the internet given by Edward S. Osborne, known as the father of question document. It goes like every person's handwriting is a unique signature of their life experiences. Then the next topic is principles of handwriting. Now, there are two important principles of handwriting. One is natural variation, and the other is individuality of handwriting. These principles play a huge role in how our handwriting looks, and I will explain each one in more detail in the next slide, so stay tuned. Let's talk about natural variation in handwriting. Even though our handwriting might look similar every time, it's never exactly the same. Small changes happen naturally depending on things like your mood, how fast you are writing, the surface you are writing on, or even the position of your hand. For example, imagine you are writing a note in a hurry. Your handwriting might look a bit more rushed, and some letters could be slightly different in size or slant. Now, if you're writing a letter to a friend when you are relaxed, your handwriting might be neater, more consistent, and with rounder letters. This difference is natural variation. So, in forensic handwriting analysis, this principle is super important. While genuine handwriting shows these slight changes, imitations tend to lack this natural flow. They often look mechanical, like they have been traced or someone is trying too hard to copy. These artificial, perfectly uniform strokes are what experts look out for to tell them the difference between genuine handwriting and a forgery. Next up is individuality of handwriting. And this one is fascinating. Just like a fingerprint, no two people have exactly the same handwriting. Even identical twins who share almost everything in common will have their own unique writing styles. Think about it. Your handwriting is like your personal signature. Let us understand with an example. One person might write the letter A with a sharp point at the top, while another might round it off. One person's letter might slant to the right, while someone else slant left, or stay straight up and down. Even when they try to replicate each other's handwriting, it will never be exactly the same because of these tiny differences. These natural variations that occur each time we write are what make exact repetition of handwriting impossible. And this is where forensic experts really shine. They can use these unique features to differentiate between writers. Now let's talk about how handwriting analysis is applied in real-life investigations, especially in question document examination. Handwriting analysis plays a huge role in solving crimes where you might find anonymous notes, forged signatures, or altered documents. Forensic document examiners use principles like individual characteristics, pen pressure, and natural variation to compare suspect handwriting with question documents and determine who wrote it. Let me give you an example to show how powerful this can be. Imagine this. A wealthy businessman suddenly passes away, and shortly after, a new will surfaces that leaves all his property to a distant relative. The family is shocked. This doesn't sound right. So they decide to have the will examined by a forensic handwriting expert. When the expert compares the signature on the new will to the businessman's real signature, they notice some red flags. The strokes are shaky, the pen pressure is uneven, and the letter shapes look unnatural. It doesn't match the businessman's normal, consistent handwriting. The expert confirms that it is a forgery, and it turns out that the distant relative has faked the signature in an attempt to inherit the wealth. Thanks to handwriting analysis, the truth came to light, and the rightful heirs were able to get the justice. This shows just how important handwriting analysis can be. And let's talk about the main part of this video, that is the factors that can affect handwriting. Now, there are several things that can influence the way we write, but today we'll focus on the main four, that is biological, psychological, mechanical, and environmental factors. Don't worry, we will break each of these down in detail in an upcoming slides, so stay tuned for a deeper look at how each of these plays a role in shaping our handwriting. So let's start with biological factors. Our handwriting is deeply influenced by biological aspects like age, muscle strength, and how well our muscles and nerves coordinate when we write. These factors can change over time, affecting the way we write. For example, as we age, our handwriting might slow down and become less fluid. A person in their 80s might have shakier, smaller handwriting compared to when they were in their 20s. This is completely natural and happens due to changes in muscle strength and coordination. Health conditions can also play a big role. For instance, people in Parkinson's disease often experience tremors, leading to shaky strokes in the handwriting. Similarly, arthritis can cause restricted hand movement, making it difficult to write clearly, resulting in jagged or uneven letters. These biological variations are really important for forensic handwriting analysis. They help experts identify when handwriting changes due to illness or physical impairments. For example, if someone's handwriting dramatically shifts after a certain health condition develops, this can be a clue for experts trying to establish the authenticity of a document. Next up, we have psychological factors. Believe it or not, a person's emotional state can have a huge impact on their handwriting. When someone is feeling stressed, anxious, or even excited, it can lead to noticeable changes in the handwriting, like the pressure on the pen, how the letters are formed, and how consistent the writing looks. For example, imagine a person who's under stress. They might write faster, and the handwriting could be erratic, with uneven strokes and inconsistent pressure. On the other hand, a calm, relaxed person might have smoother or controlled or more controlled handwriting that's easy to write. This is really important for forensic handwriting examiners. When analyzing question documents, they often consider psychological factors to help determine the emotional state or mood of the writer at that time. For example, if a person writes a letter during a period of intense stress, forensic experts can identify these emotional indicators in the handwriting, which can provide valuable context during an investigation. Now let's talk about mechanical factors. These are the technical elements that can affect how handwriting looks, like the type of writing instrument you are using, the texture of the paper, and even the angle at which you write. For example, a ballpoint pen will typically create a thinner, more uniform lines, while a gel pen might have thicker, bolder strokes. Writing on rough paper or a smooth or soft surface can distort the way the strokes appear, sometimes making the pressure inconsistent or the letters look uneven. Let's say someone writes on a piece of thick, textured paper. The pen might skip, leaving gaps or jagged edges in the letters. In contrast, if the same person writes on a smooth paper, the ink flows more evenly and the writing or the handwriting might look cleaner and more consistent. Forensic examiners are keen on these mechanical factors because they need to make sure that the writing samples they compare are produced under similar conditions. If they are comparing two documents, for example, they need to know if the same pen was used or if the writing surface would have affected the writing style. These details help ensure an accurate analysis and comparison. And finally, let us explore the environmental factors that can impact handwriting. Our external surroundings like lighting, posture, the surface we write on, and even noise levels can all play a role in how our handwriting looks. For example, poor lighting can cause visual strain, making a person write more aggressively or with less care, which can affect the legibility of their handwriting. And in case if someone is in a noisy or uncomfortable environment, they might feel rushed or distracted, leading to unstable and uneven writing. Imagine trying to write while sitting on a bench in a crowded, noisy cafe. Your handwriting might become messy and hurried. On the other hand, if you are writing in a quiet desk in a comfortable chair with proper lighting, your handwriting is likely to be more controlled and consistent. Even the writing surface matters. If you are writing on a tilted or uneven surface like a couch or a wobbly table, it can cause your handwriting to slant in strange ways or lead to awkward spacing between letters. Forensic experts take these environmental factors into account while analyzing question handwriting. If you see unusual slants, spacing, or pressure in a document, understanding the conditions under which it was written helps them interpret these variations accurately. Then let us dive into a real-life mystery case study that showcases the power of handwriting analysis. So this case study involves Robert Durst, a man whose story is full of twists and turns that only a forensic expert could fully unravel. In 1973, Robert married Kathleen, and at first their relationship seemed loving. But after nearly a decade, things took a dark turn. Kathy was treated for facial bruises at a hospital in Bronx, and she confided in a friend that has been abusing her. Then in January 1982, Kathy mysteriously disappeared. She was never seen again. The police quickly focused on Robert Durst as the primary suspect. However, Durst denied any involvement. Now Durst's close friend, Susan Berman, came to his defense. She provided an alibi for him and even spoke to the media on his behalf, claiming he was innocent. But just 18 years later, in 2000, Susan Berman was found murdered in her California home, executed in cold blood. Police began to suspect that Berman had knowledge of Kathy's disappearance and has been blackmailing Durst for large sums of money. The case took another bizarre twist when an anonymous letter was sent to Beverly Hills Police Department. It was a chilling note that led to them to Susan Berman's body. But here's where things got really interesting. The letter contained a misspelling of Beverly, an unusual misspelling that had also appeared in letters Robert Durst had previously written. Now forensics stepped in. Handwriting analysis revealed that the writing in an anonymous letter matched Durst's known handwriting. In fact, the similarities were so striking that Durst himself admitted the match. This critical forensic evidence led to his 2015 arrest and charges for Susan Berman's murder. The handwriting analysis was key in linking him to the crime, and his trial was set to begin at late 2019. This case is a perfect example of how handwriting analysis can crack a mystery wide open, revealing crucial clues that may otherwise have gone unnoticed. To wrap things up, handwriting is truly a unique and identifiable trait. It is shaped by a range of factors, from biological to psychological, mechanical to environmental, all of which play a role in how we write. In the world of forensic science, Handwriting analysis becomes a powerful tool in both authenticating documents and uncovering the truth behind crime. As we saw in the Robert Durst case, handwriting analysis can provide critical evidence that leads to justice. By closely examining the smallest details in strokes, pressure, and patterns, forensic experts are able to reveal hidden connections and truth that otherwise might overlook. In a way, handwriting becomes a silent witness, speaking volumes and offering insights that are crucial for solving mysteries and ensuring justice is served. So thank you for watching this video. If you have found this video interesting, don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more true crime insights and forensic breakdowns. Hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next video. Till then, bye bye.